get cracking!
Welcome everybody here to your coverage of the Dota 2 Championship League. I'm your host as always, TobiWan, getting ourselves into game number 1, where we'll be having Team Empire going up against Fnatic. For those guys out there that don't know these teams too well, let's bring them up on the screen right now. So here is the roster for Team Empire. They will be playing with their full roster as well tonight. So Mag, Resolution, man, I love watching these boys play, and when you add Vanscore and Salem to the mix-up as well, things are just magical for these guys. So Team Empire, definitely one of my favorite teams out there in the world, especially coming out from the CIS scene, performing insanely well of recent times. Unfortunately for them, though, they've had a bit of a snag recently, and their main snag has been this team right here. Fnatic is the team they faced them 5 days ago in a best of 1. And that was when Fnatic ended up coming out on top of that one. And Team Empire, they've been running an awesome streak so far, an absolutely amazing streak so far. And ends up that they just got shut down too much. And yeah, they found themselves with their streak just stuttering a little bit. But Team Empire is looking very, very strong as far as teams go right now. I hope these guys still get invited to a lot of tournaments, because there's so much competition across CIS as well as EU right now for qualification spots. I don't even know how Valve is going to deal with invite series right now, because there's just too much quality coming out of the European scene, and Team Empire is high up at the top of the list. Originally, too, by the way, guys, I was going to be casting with Sneaking. Unfortunately, yeah, he ended up sleeping a little bit through his alarm. So he'll join me for game number 2, however, so I'll be solo for game number 1. But he will be joining me for game number 2. As let's get into ourselves game number 1 right now. So we'll have Luna, Clockwork, Nature's Prophet, as well as Crystal Maiden coming in here for the Fnatic boys. And that is already going to be pretty damn strong as far as laning goes. Of course, this is pretty standard as far as Fnatic goes. The off-lane Trixie Prophet, the Crystal Maiden support. There's only one other strategy which they do, which is Nature's Prophet in the middle lane. That's something which Hani used to play around with but doesn't really touch on anymore. So it's, yeah, we wouldn't be expecting that to come out from their lineup. But Team Empire, they've already got 2 fantastic heroes as well, especially up against Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet's pushing power kind of just disintegrates when Luna gets into a later levels with the bouncing glaives, and his safety when he goes for the split push is also in a lot of jeopardy when you have Mag's Clockwork hooking around the place. So there's going to be more troubles there. Hopefully there's not going to be too many troubles, as I'm about to just switch us over to our Raw thing, as it's going to kick me back into the not the lobby, but back to my Dota 2 dashboard. It seems Steam has been having a lot of issues for people of recent times, and ever since the new patch, there's also been that weird thing where it kicks people out, which is not that great. So yeah, let's get into it. Back into it, I should at least say. So Lifesteal is going to be the ban out here. So they start looking at the era combinations. If they're really thinking about Lifesteal, they probably might have wanted to focus on the bans for middle lane, as far as Storm Spirit or Puck went, but at the same time, maybe they feel they're good with Puck up against someone like a Clockwork, able to get that orb off in between the battery assault hits. No-Tail's going to take out Storm himself, so I don't know if we're going next level kind of like bans at the moment, but I do know that Resolution's been rather he's been targeted in this one. You take out the Invoker, you take out the Storm Spirit, you're wanting to remove out his major solo mid heroes, and also it would have been a secondary hero that could jump, and also jump, kill, and jump straight back out again. So people like Crystal Maiden would get sniped off easily by the Storm Spirit. Nature's Prophet again would have then 2 heroes he'll have to worry about. And Clockwork would always have the backup behind him, because that's always another problem with Clockwork. You can hook shot yourself in across the river and underneath someone else's tower, pop off your cogs, push everybody back, and battery assault it up. But if your teammates can't keep up with you, the chances are you'll end up just feeding by doing so. So it's a lot better option to have another hero that's able to keep up with the Clockwork, or at least have the potential. Like you do like that Wisp kind of combination. So Clockwork hooks in, and then all of a sudden Wisp Relocate comes out, and it's like, yay! Or he can tether in and follow the Clockwork in too. Krob's going to be the ban out by Mag, so he's a little bit concerned about Fnatic's overwhelming push that they can do early on. When people keep on playing these Lunas, I keep seeing Krob being banned out in just in the second stage, because the Luna comes up, And then you do realize that the big problem you could be facing is you'll lose all your tier 1 and your tier 2 towers early on. Then you're forced into a turtle, and then it just becomes a battle for resources. If Luna can get enough farm, maybe she can carry you out, but the rest of your team gets choked to death. So, yeah, Krob is one of those heroes that does it perfectly, just pushes in the lanes, and you can't do much about it until you get your higher levels up as the Luna, because you still need to get your 4 points up in your Lucid Beam. You will be getting to at least your 2 points up in the ultimate, and then your 2 points up in Aura, 2 points Glaives. When you hit the 4 points up in both of those, then obviously then you're ready to rumble and you want to try and push down lanes. But in the early stages, just having a 2 and 2 in Glaives and Aura is enough to get your team over the line.
Radiant team
Shaken now coming in for Fnatic, an Ancient Apparition for Team Empire. If it wasn't bad enough that Luna was already giving him the bonus damage, now they're going to add Chilling Touch into the mix-up too. This early fight up on the top lane, which is where Team Empire could potentially run. I know most co-casters, if I was casting with them right now, would say that Luna on a aggressive tri lane, nah, it's really not that great. But when you're able to stack up a huge amount of damage as well, and you're able to zone out your enemy heroes, you can go nuts for it. And with a Crystal Maiden and Earthshaker, like Ancient Apparition's already there, you get something like a Rubik, like a pick-up telekinesis to throw back, and that'll give you all the time in the world to get almost every single Chilling Touch hit out, and that means you get that early damage. It used to be the whole thing, well, it used to be, still is, the thing of Rubik isn't really that great until he hits level 3, so you get the 2 points Fade Bolt and the 1 point telekinesis. At the 2 points Fade Bolt, then you actually give damage. But with the Ancient Apparition Chilling Touch, these supports become a lot more useful a lot earlier on. So yeah, maybe Mag wants to play around with that one. Well, Fnatic with the Earthshaker. It's almost a classic roaming Hani Earthshaker. But in this scenario, I don't think he really wants to try and go into that. He doesn't have to abandon lanes, not at that point. That was only back in the old patch before they changed the lanes up, where now the off lane is a little bit closer towards your own tier 1 tower with a decent block. So you're able just to farm that up quite freely. Like, there's no massive problem with that at all. We got 16 seconds right now for NoTel to make a decision. So the fourth hero to add to the mix-up, we look for a core. It's going to be a Bristleback. All right, so we add a large amount of tankiness. It could, like, as I said before, like, the off lane is not set in stone. The off lane is definitely not set in stone. That could be Hani in the middle lane. And then the Bristleback ends up going off lane with an Earthshaker babysit or Crystal Maiden babysit. And then top lane ends up being dual lanes too. Fnatic left themselves pretty open as far as their options go. And I'm pretty sure Mag's also going to be very much aware of this, because these two teams have been around long enough and played up against each other long enough that they'll still remember the possibility for that Prophet to switch. But if we do go with what is standard, it should be Bristleback up on the top lane with a Crystal Maiden Earthshaker, and Nature's Prophet just doing it tough down the bottom lane. And then a different solo mid for Fnatic. While Team Empire, there's the Rubik. I'm not going to put it past him to go to that top lane. I'm not going to put it past him to do it. It's going to be a good time up there for him. Which means Clockwork then goes head-to-head on the bottom lane with what could be Bristleback. And Clockwork, well, he's not going to like that matchup. He's not going to like that matchup at all. Bristleback's harassment's enough just to pop the Clockwork. And if you want a battle of life points between both the Bristleback and the Clockwork, if Bristleback can turn his back, then I put my money on the Bristle. I put all my money on the Bristle. So Puck and Pugna was the last ones being removed. Yeah, Mag's still worried about where that push is going to come from. And if that is a Prophet, no, because that would have been, yeah, actually a Pugna up on the top lane would have been okay. It wouldn't have been perfect with the lineup I'm thinking for Fnatic. Because for Fnatic, I'm thinking it's just a Bristleback off lane and Prophet in the middle will be perfect. And then just get another, like, era carry hero on the top lane that has an element of push. Doesn't need to be huge. Just an element of it. Could almost just give Trixie something like a, oh no, you wouldn't want the Lone Druid bear in the middle of this. And really, you just can't transition that bear as well anymore.
5 seconds remaining.
But Notel's going to share his wisdom, and we get a Mirana pickup. So Earthshaker Fissure into a Crystal Maiden Frostbite with the Mirana Arrow. I'm down with that combination. It's good. It's aggressive. Trixie is the player, though, that would normally take on that Mirana role, just because he likes the hero more than anything else. Has also played it multiple times back when Mirana used to be a consistent offlaner. Yeah, let's see how Mag responds to this, because I still think Mag is going to be looking at an aggressive tri-lane. If Fnatic try and go for a dodge, and they run the Mirana ESCM down on the bottom lane, then things could get very, very interesting. And Magnus, a hero we have not seen in a very, very long time, but one of Resolution's favorites back in the days, back when he was playing for a team called IC Cup. And he was the captain of that team as well. They had a lot of success, found themselves a Starlighter Finals, found themselves winning also things like the ISO Cup, the big point battles. They were a formidable team, and that was back when S4, son of Magnus, used to run the waters as well in that solo mid. There was no one that could touch him, and Resolution was probably the only man that ever came close to repeating the beautiful Magnus play. And looks like we will have Hani in that middle lane. So my suspicions were correct. My suspicions were 100% on the money. Hey, no. I'm not gonna set my my hopes high from the very, very start. Oh.
Prepare for battle.
Also just realized too, guys, if you haven't done it yet, you should head yourself in and buy up the ticket. If you haven't done it, you can find it, and we're watching it live. As I realized that we don't have the updated money right here, because we have cracked. So it's actually 100,315 right now. Go on and buy the ticket. So greetings to everyone inside the game who has ended up buying the ticket. As I want to update our number. It's nice to have that extra 1 in there. But let's look at our lane. So off-lane wise, we're going for classic off-lane. The Earthshaker baby sitting in off-laner. This is something which is more similar to like when Windrunner was, Wind Ranger, it still feels uncomfortable, was down the off-lane. You'd have Earthshaker, mainly just looking to lock Fissures in position, because it's a very long stun, but you can also block out any kind of support coming in from the side. So Earthshaker just holds back, sacrifices himself, and then Mirana farms up the lane around here. Of course, with the Dire side, you got the extra advantage that he's able to fissure block. So we'll see a block come across this way with the Earthshaker. That's why Notel's walking around with 4 Clarities and 2 Sentry Wards. So he sees the DD rune, but this means Vanscore will also see him, which means ward either in here or over in here. So the 2 choices, Vanscore. Okay, he's going to... a little bit further to the right, yeah. So that camp won't spawn up. I think Notel's going to realize it too. He's going to put the Sentry Ward down here so he can also still see up. And the fact that Sentry Ward reaches the Dire Observer Ward means Notel knows exactly where it should be, which means he's going to cut through a tree over on the left if he wants to do this pull. That's going to be frustrating for him. As even if he blocks this, he'll have no camp to go to. And he knows he blocks up at 30-second mark too. So, meanwhile, in our other lanes, we'll have Flying and Trixie combining up together. The Crystal Maiden, as well as the Clockwork, as well as the Bristleback up against the Clockwork. And then middle lane, we'll have Hani going head-to-head with Resolution. So all lanes, not as predicted as far as Team Empire's aggressive tri-lane, but Empire was forced to change it up by realizing that they're looking at dual lanes and not looking at a tri-lane. If this was a tri-lane, then life would have been a hell of a lot easier for them. But it's not, so they have to deal with the old battling of the levels. But Resolution's already having a good start to that one here in the middle lane. Obviously, it's still neck and neck with the new creep wave now arriving, so they're head-to-head with the creeps. And Resolution's forced to be right underneath this tower. You see Hani only now just harassing Resolution back a little bit more. CS is more important than harassment onto the Magnus. Any kind of harassment, he's just going to like regenerate anyway. And Hani, rune control's very, very difficult for a Nature's Prophet. And yes, I am saying that mainly because you don't want to be wasting your TP to go down for the rune every 2 minutes. You can send your trees and do that kind of stuff, but the major problem you've got is the fact that Resolution can always outrun you. Like, he can just walk himself up, skewer if he needs to, and then you could find yourself in a really bad position. But at the same time, that's why No Tail's up there on the top rune. So he sees the illusion rune, and they're coming in for Mag. They already start off with the Goo. We'll need a Frostbite to slow down Mag. There is a Nova also to follow up. The Fissure, a little bit off target. Not really damaging down Mag, but No Tail using the illusions as well as his own body just to block Mag in on that top corner. So wonderful execution. While it didn't hit the clockwork straight away, it was all about the greater plan. And that was to block him in there, hold him in position. And it was Bristleback who also got the last hit in that one. So first blood goes to Bristleback, which means Trixie is already getting a lot of farm. There should be no feeding in this game with high levels of farm like that. Sitting at now 12 for 6. He's just trying to get... okay, that's the reason why. Has to take up a little bit more than what he's probably comfortable with. He's got no mana as well to quill spray this down. And he's realized he can't just tank this up forever. As long as he can still get the hits underneath the tower, he's okay. Which, at this point, that's not what, that's the only reason I'm keeping a very close eye. Because he hasn't failed yet. Oh, still hasn't missed one. Oh, I thought you'd be flawless, Trixie. He missed one. He missed one. Fly's already setting up for another gank, but this Observer Ward from Empire is keeping very close tabs on it. The Clockwork was up like a decent way before because he still had that Observer Ward up when they ganked him up before. But what he didn't see was what was coming up the river. And that's the reason why Mag ended up dying, because he just underestimated the rotation in from the Earthshaker. Like, Fnatic are a team that when they ran this Earthshaker, they'd abandon their offlane to a point just so they could roam the Earthshaker. So Earthshaker never spent any set time inside of a lane. He would always just... oh, that's an Invis rune. Here, the AA take it from him. Finally, that Sentry Ward also pops. So the Ancient Camp will now start spawning up, but Earthshaker's just having a great time rotating. And he's not going to really... no, maybe with a Frostbite. Then Fissure to follow up. They can go in for the Goo. And Nature's Prophet's also TP'd in here. Harney, though, he's going to create an army of trees. He's sprouting so he can see Mag. But he's locked himself here inside the tree line because he summoned the trees a little bit further away from him. So he keeps attacking from inside the trees. But he can't leave yet. Someone's going to get him out of here. His army of trees just keeps fighting up. So Fnatic, they found themselves basically balls deep in enemy territory. But no one's coming in here to stop him because there's 4 heroes still up on this top lane. Mid-solo or not, here's a TP coming in from the Clockwork. He's not level 6, but he can at least cog and force Harney back at some point. And Harney keeps randomly attacking here and there, which reveals out his position. But they're definitely trying to see if Clockwork wants to go for it. Harney finally, a new creation of trees, breaks himself free. And now they will destroy this tier 1 tower on the top lane. And Luna, not really ready to farm up this bottom lane yet. Like, got a lot of money on the Luna, but the experience is definitely lacking behind. And that Prophet ult, they will be forced back. Top lane fight though. Mag is already pretty damn low. Resolution with the shockwaves able to pick up the Crystal Maiden, who's on the wrong side of the river. I say the wrong side of the river. She's on the right side of the river, but wrong side of the Fnatic line. And Mag just backed into a corner too. No Tail was about to throw out that Fissure, but Trixie and Honey are just too low. And the Fissure isn't a guaranteed kill over on Mag. So they just bail themselves out. Luna's also not looking too great. Honey being thrown back into the Luna. But with Era on the tail of Vanskor, he won't be able to survive this one. He's running pretty damn fast and a 15 life points. And Honey, he just... the amount of overextension in this game is ridiculous. Coming so close to towers, coming so close to death. All of Team Empire were basically sitting on no life points during that last engagement. Well, at the same time, Fnatic do come out on top. We should just switch ourselves over. Look at the network. How much money has had to be spent during this early stages? At least Trixie's put all of his money into items. Going into that Vanguard for himself. No-Tail starts the pull. The block pull as well. And frustration will just ensue for Silent. This is the first time he's had the experience denied off for him. And it's the first time he's been left alone in his own lane to farm up. But he'll have to go pick up the boots, realize what's going wrong. And just wait for the next creep wave. Unless No-Tail wants to body block. He's got a fissure. Oh, he just got that one. That one range creeper, though, is dedicated. He's dedicated to the cause. Doesn't want to leave the lane. So the range creep will go down. But the rest, the melee as well as the catapult's going to get denied off. And yeah, the pings are coming out. Just letting him know the ancient pull is happening. On Resolution and Vanscore. I will be teaming up with the Ancient Apparition, searching for a kill here in mid. Or are they? Always want to fly here on the Ancient Apparition. Is not quite sure if he wants to go up or go down. And with Prophet TPing in, nope, there's no rune there. The rune's on bottom. Gonna be taken by Fly. It's so close. Honey's inside the jungle. Now transitioning off the middle lane. Realize that some kind of gank should be coming from him, coming for him. With the Ancient Apparition as well as the Rubik missing, it was definitely flagged. But that's also the reason why Fly and No-Tail are hovering around this middle lane. No-Tail really needs some experience. Fly is soaking up most of it at the moment. I'll be trying to get him into Tranquil Boots top lane, Mag. Damn, that's a lot of damage from Trixie. That warp path up to 5 stacks on him too. Hitting with a huge amount of damage. Nope. There you go. Silent Force back, and Earthshaker's going to TP bottom lane. Pops the smoke in the back corner. There's Vanscore, who's also now rotated down to help out. But they want the kill on Silent. Fissure into Arrow is going to be their best chance. There goes your Prophet Ultimate. Honey, he got the sprout off. Telekinesis throwback, but there is still that Fissure to hold him there too, and Honey breaks his way free of the tree line. So he can outrun the Cold Feet at least, but can he outrun the rest of the DPS? Into the corner, try and TP out. Resolution comes in, shockwaves him down. Ends the killing spree of Honey. And Era and No-Tail, there's nothing more they could do to help. They threw their stuns to try and get the kill. So Fly and No-Tail back to that bottom lane with Era. That's meant to be their combination to start with. And with Vanscore, he moves down a long way and they're calling for it. The arrow's going to connect. The quick starfall and Nova and Fissure. The second star never even hit Vanscore. So 5-2 and an easy free kill. Vanscore just trying to move out there to probably get an aggressive observer ward to see if Fnatic were going to go into the Rosh pit. Arrows flying up to Resolution. The Resolution just waits it out. Pops and takes the regeneration rune. Should also point out the fact his Blink Dagger is up and running now. So 10 minutes in with 4.9k net worth. That Blink Dagger up and running. Net worth is rather quite close apart from like Silent, but he's got a hand of Midas. So he'll be catching up. At least he'll be keeping up with Hani. While it's the Mag keeping up with the Bristleback. Strixie's got Strength Treads, Vanguard up and running. Wonder if we go for full tank ability out from Bristle. Knowing he's up against an Ancient Apparition as well as a Rubik. Those are two heroes that will pop rather easily. The only thing you have to make sure you can do is just survive without your regeneration for a while. Because Ancient Apparition will be taking that away from you. And that's the reason why they're also giving Always Want to Fly more space up on the top lane. They're trying to get him up to level 6 and with Arcane Boots. That's the goal right now. Another pull down from No-Tail. Silent is not having a great time, and that's why they're forced to jump into the jungle. They need to make sure he gets this experience and money. And the Hand of Midas is the best way to make sure he can do that. As well as having the farm from the pull. Resolution. He's going to look for it. Well, he's going to look for it, but it's so difficult for him to find that big team fight that Empire won. Because the second they do it, Fnatic are only going to have 1 or 2 people there at this early point of the game. There's just no other way really around it, because, well, you got a split push lineup. You got Bristleback, who's fine up on the top lane, won't feel any pressure. They're even giving space to Fly down here in the middle lane, which means there's really only 2 heroes on this bottom lane. So pull the creep wave up as the main job here from Era without dying. And if they need help, Hani will come in. Aeoldi's flying in. Era just far enough back, he's not going to get hit by it. But now there's TPs on the way in, and looks like Trixie. This is exactly what they want. But not at the time they want it. Fly, skewered back here by Resolution in the middle lane. Has to commit the RP, Shockwave, and then the last attack. But it's from the Mirana ulti. Resolution needs to guess. It's almost going to be like a blink to Shockwave right now if you want to Fly, but Fly gets away on 19 life points. The Moonlight Shadow from Mirana, saving his teammate's life and allowing the TP back. And now with RP down, they're coming in for the kill. That one range creep will sacrifice his life for Resolution. If that arrow connected, it would have been death. Aeoldi coming back again towards that middle lane, but no one's close enough. So the blink out to us, it was meant to be a Shockwave kill, combining with the AA ulti. It just wasn't able to do its job. And Hani back up to this top lane too. If he had any more DPS, he should be going for this Ancient Apparition. In fact, he should do it anyway. Sprout him up. Going to outrun the Cold Feet. The Fissure will come in too, so Hani's outrun the Cold Feet. Fortunately for him, he ran up. I thought Hani might try and run down, but then he would be going into unknown territory, not knowing if the rest of Team Empire was going to be there. So decided to just play it safe for now. Go back into the farm, find your way to the DPS. He's got Medallion of Courage as well as the Hand of Midas, so he is able to farm up quickly, but that Medallion should also be very much noted for Roshan. That's why that Observer Ward was coming out from Vantka, why he risked his life to put it down before. They wanted this ward down, there's a new one now down, because of Roshan. All you gotta do is, hello! Goodbye, Fly. Ancient Apparition connects perfectly. They even threw a Prophet ulti to try and help out the Crystal Maiden, but when a hook shot lands like that, and you have an Ancient Apparition ulti on the field, the Crystal Maiden will not survive. Silence forcing out this bottom lane. He's almost caught back up again to the Magnus. Oh, middle lane, what's happening there? Mag, oh, there's at this point, a complete death of Trixie in the middle lane. Completed by 4 heroes with Chilling Touch, Cold Feeted. The RP is committed again, but they bring down the Bristleback, and that's the bigger thing. 5.6k in the net worth, and that bumps Luna ahead now, the other carry. There is still support here in the mid. Hani with a fissure. They can't reach him. They just want Roshan though, which means they have to mop up this middle lane first. But Hani's going to TP up, which means there's wasted money. Wasted money in the mid. But Hani goes back to farming. And 2.3k gold? I'm really wondering what they're searching for. Like, he could just go into the Shadow Blade, but with the Medallion as well, it should be an early Roshan. And in a game like this, I'm wondering if Hani is also considering Necro units. Because he will turn into this off-lane, like, split pusher. Buys treads for now, but still 1,400 gold in the bank account. I want to know his decision shortly. You see, they want Roshan, but they know they can't do it yet. They need to pick off here, Fnatic. If they want Roshan, they need to pick off. RP might be down, which is their upside, but they also know just the peril of the fact that like they don't need RP to take a fight inside of Roshan. With the Aeoldi to fly in, a Clockwork, hook into Cogs, you can find people pushed up and stranded on top of hills. It's just not worth it for him. And the Fissure control, it wouldn't be enough. Because just throwing a Fissure, like you could throw the Fissure off this line right here, force him into a choke point. But Team Empire, a quick hook in, a Rubik telekinesis, they can battle from the other side of the rock wall. They might not get it in to contest up Roshan, but they'll pick off everybody else while you try and take it. Silent's going to get back out here and farming. He knows that they're coming. He knows that they're coming. That's why he's hiding in the tree line. He's going to clean up these Nature's Prophet trees first. And now backing up. Losing being to farm up. Oh, Fisher. Arrow. Prophet ulti. Oh, fell short. Silent. One charges and a quick attack. Vanscore. What do we end up stealing? Fisher was ended up being stolen, which means Trixie hit by the AE ulti. Mag. All he needs to skewer him. But now Trixie still on the run out of here. He's going to survive through this AE ulti. Marana ulti will also be used to try and buy in some space while Hani invis and in a corner. They drop down the sentry ward, so finally they do see him. And we'll pick him off. Resolution has RP available, but he has no vision of the enemy. So he blinked up into the corner. Shockwave is up, considering maybe there was Nurse Shaker there. The No-Teller somewhere else. Throws out the Fissure. Fissure returned over to Era with the Cold Feed and Rocket. Era down to 42 life points. Meanwhile, back inside the lane. Flies on the run. 7 stick charges can be popped right now, and he'll have himself with the hook shot. But instead he'll go for the stick charges into a battery assault. While Earthshaker denies himself off to the neutral. So 3 euros from Fnatic end up being on the sideline. But that just means that Empire push out a little bit. But Silent towards that middle lane. Still got 3 deaths on Silent. That's not a fun time for Luna. But he's keeping up with the net worth, so that's all that really matters here. And then gives the buff to his team up to level 11. So the 2 points ulti. And then the 4-2-3. And you're seeing the power just to easily push out that mid-tier 1. As a Resolution with his haste rune comes in to defend the bottom. Trixie's down here though. Gunks him up. Just a quick shockwave into the creep wave. Means in a second shockwave we'll be able to farm up the entire thing. Just like that. Even though Clockwork was trying to be a bit of a douche. We got coming in for the Courier. Energy booster for Vanscore. So we get Arcane Boots for the Rubicon. Much needed. He stole that Fisher, tries to throw it out, then his Fable, then his Telekinesis. He's already burnt through half of his mana pool. And there's no quick regeneration. It is going to be Necro units. It was just a very greedy build from Hani. That kind of made Necro a little bit more obvious that he wanted to go for that. And just buying up the trades to be part of the fight for now.
Dire's top tower is
Vanscore's going to keep himself hidden. They know fighting is happening, but then again, Trixie also knows exactly where he is. There's an observer while there's back behind the lines right there. The arrow flies out to try and hit on top of Resolution. Actually, maybe this ward is a little bit too fresh. Hey, not know he's in the corner? Maybe they don't. It looks like they don't, because they would have reacted to it by now. But Aeon is on the way in. Era being hit by the Fissure. Feybold as well. He won't shatter from this, but then again with the Shockwave Resolution TP in, it's going to work. And Mag in for the hook shot, picking up the Crystal Maiden. So now 2 Eras on the sideline. As more supplies being thrown into the middle of this fight, the tower even gets denied up by the Ancient Apparition. No tell away, but Trixie is a fresh Fissure stolen. He got locked in here, 4-staff down by Mag, going into the battery assault, blink in, skewering back over the top of the rock wall. Fnatic is having their abilities used against them. And Mag into the battery assault, right in the back of No-Tail. ALD will kill him off if Clockwork didn't do it before that. And we have ourselves another blink up. Skewer already on cooldown, but Hani, Mag catches up into the invis, but the urn charge is sticking him out. Sentry ward, so 1 quick kit. Vanscore will use the Feybolt instead. And Team Empire making very short work of Fnatic now. Their coordination, their combos during the team fight, absolutely superb.
Do it with flair.
Luna now going to go into a helm with the Dominator. It gets a little bit more greedier for Team Empire. They realize what they want to do, and it's like, well, it's just sit back, farm it up. You already know you're ahead. It's a dangerous thing to do when you're still playing up against such a split pushing lineup like Fnatic has. If I could just finish the level 3 Necro units, and then a little bit more farm comes in for a bristleback. He went Vanguard, and now he's going to work his way into a pipe. So he is just looking to survive forever. And then the gang squad, they find Silent. Quick Fissure, follow-up arrow, and an Aegis Prophet ulti Hani to steal the kill. And they're happy with that. A lot of money. Oh, good hook shot in. So they're away to safety, but Mag is able to reach into the Earthshaker. And that's a worthwhile trade for Fnatic. They rotate 3 euros to get it, sure. And you see them instantly. They know what they want to do. They want to come in for Roshan. The AOD is going to hit pretty hard here, though. And Trixie can keep taking up, but with the fissure as well coming from Vanskor. Quick Feybolt into Hani, and then the RP, Shockwave, secondary rocket. It was a short-range skewer to get the kill. And Yarrow ends up falling short. That was meant to hold Vanskor in position. Sorry, hold Resolution in position. They're failing on that one. Now it's both Luna and Prophet that goes down. Did he buy up his... Yeah, he bought up his level 2 Necro units before he died. So he doesn't really lose out in any money, but he just gives a little bit more over to Team Empire. And technically does lose out in money because he's not farming right now. Here's Midas. Midas isn't on cooldown. In fact, Midas is exactly the same time as his death. So it's not that bad. And looks like they're going to send Prophet towards the top lane. Fly should really try and pull this guy creep aggro off the tower, though. So we can just TP up towards... Yeah, there we go. Alright! Mag comes in. Tier 2 tower. Frostbite's going to be there. The AOD will ensure the kill over on the Crystal Maiden. But with Fissure and Prophet TP in, Mag throws away his life. And for a huge amount of gold, the arrow came in. Now almost over from Vanskor. A quick Echo Slam. There's no extra Fissure apart from the one coming out from Vanskor. Trying to TP away. They need a little bit more damage. Hani almost had it there with the Necro units damaging him down too. Medallion Courage, trigger and go. But that's his level 3 Necro units. He got so much money from the kill on the Clockwork. It's a wicked sick streak being ended for 942 gold. So level 3 Necro books for an Aegis Prophet, up and running by 24 minutes. Not bad. But Hani needs more power for the split push. Necro units will only get him half the way. It will, of course, be a massive problem for the Luna. Like, she went lifesteal. It looks like just a casual Morbid Mask. The BKB is essential. Without the BKB, the Necro units basically destroy the Luna because she can't control her attacks. So the Necro units get hit out by the glaives, and she ends up losing a huge chunk of her life points. That's only going to take Bristlebat to come in with a couple more Quill Sprays and just beat him down. One Fissure to hold, arrow to follow up. You can get rid of the primary source of physical DPS coming out from Team Empire. And it is a big source too. That 4-point in power should be used by Resolution right now over on Silent. Get as much damage into that Luna as possible. Hani, RP with the AA ulti as well. It's a quick skewer and then again Rubik. He's thrown more fissures than we've seen from Notal tonight. Been all over it. And wonderfully so.
Boom, there it goes.
Vanskor. We got Prep Observer Wards now. Again, they look towards the Roshan. And again, Fnatic will defend it. This Roshan's going to be the hardest Roshan ever. Wonderful Fissure. Absolutely beautiful Fissure. They push him over to the other side, though, of his own Fissure. Turns the AA ulti in and Vanskor low on life. The Shockwave's coming out. Silent BKB into the Olin. But Trixie, he can tank up so much of this. He's already got the pipe up and running in Silent. There's actually going to be really careful. He's caught on the wrong side of the Sprout. Harney has managed to hold them all out. Now Silent, fidget up in the high ground. He will go down. Resolution fighting up against him. Another Sprout holding the Luna in with Trixie. And more fidgets keep flying out. Mag's up in the high ground. Trying to TP out. No one can reach him. No one can stop him. No one can stun him. And then the rest of the TPs come. And a wonderful battle out by Team Empire. Fnatic look like they were playing that perfectly. The Sprout here right on the choke point. It split the fight into two. And Fnatic, they want to get Roshan down. There were mass amounts of TPs back to base, so they can't come out straight away. That's one thing that Fnatic does know, but the problem is they don't have the DPS. Trixie's not really ready to fight. Doesn't have, well, I say he doesn't have any DPS arms. All he's got to do is survive with mana and just keep on triggering off. Yeah, okay, now with the Necro units down, they see what's going on. AEL is coming into a Hani, he's just bailing. But these Necro should really try and get rid of this Observer Ward. Okay, what, he's TPing back to base so they can come back out and fight again. But they do need somebody to help them get rid of this damn Ward. In comes Empire. Hook shots up and running, but they don't make the jump. Mag was there, but this fissure is
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
cheeky from No-Tail, making sure that they can't get close enough to it without using their blinks beforehand.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And Resolution. Look at his control now. With the ultimate orb coming up, like you kind of know what he wants to build into. Like you know he wants to do this, but he needs the perseverance in order to do that instead of the refresher orb, instead of the ultimate orb, which makes me just think that right now we're looking at a Scythe of Ice coming out from the Magnus as the only way to control up, like a way to control the Bristleback. But even then, controlling the Bristleback is next to impossible. He's just got so much life points and so much resistance that in order to get a kill, they're going to work so hard, so much overtime just to get the kills. It's just not going to be a fun game for him, is what it comes down to. So Silent now too. BKB fully up from him. He already used it before. And he saw just how ineffective that Eclipse was. He needs more physical DPS is what it comes down to. And I'm saying that to a guy who's hitting 180 per hit. And he's got the bouncing glaive damage as well. Once he finishes up that Mana Style, it's probably going to be a lot better for him. But I think he doesn't really have a lot more damage. Because he's going to go Mana Style and then what, into Satanic? Because he won't want to sell the Hand of Midas straight away, because that's what's keeping him ahead. If he gets rid of that, he's in more trouble. We should probably have a look at this, even though I think in this game it doesn't really matter because of this kind of thing. No-Tail's going to get hit by the AA ulti, and Mag, quick rocket. No-Tail should shatter from this one right now. In fact, there she goes. AA gets the shatter effect. Trying to use the Moran ulti to keep him secret and safe from Mag, who's almost finished up his Aghanim Scepter. So they'll have never-ending hook shots. Yeah, but as far as this gold and experience graph goes, this is only a very small thing. Fnatic split push power is really strong, while Empire's teamfight power is really strong. So whoever gets the best of the worlds comes out on top. But they need that pick off Fnatic. The perfect long-range arrow. But you see what's happening while the tier 2 tower is being attacked here on the top lane. Trixie's still up on that top lane farming up. Not Trixie, Honey's up on that top lane farming up. Just pushing in the lanes. Tier 2 towers don't mean anything to Fnatic right now unless it's going to be a tier 2 tower up on the top, because that restricts access to the jungle. So top lane is a primary thing that it has to be pushed out by Fnatic at all times. This is their Dota. This is Rat Dota. Even No-Tail's Fissure, he can block off the base. Trixie just does these sprays, and most of all the Fissure was stolen. Returns it, but the arrow connects. 5 seconds from Era. The AOD will hit nicely on all of Fnatic. But where's the follow-through? Mag has already hook shot down towards Hani, and Hani will sprout up, but unfortunately for him, he's locked himself in with Mag. And then trying to use the trees for a body block to run away. Battling up against Silent, Trixie's on the way in. The Fissure from No-Tail, well off target, but the arrow will hold the Ancient Apparition out of play, attacking up the hill. No-Tail's got nothing more to help him, so the Agassi model will now trigger. Hani doesn't have buyback, or else he would be here. It's still on cooldown for him right now. Trixie, oh, that's a beautiful position from Mag. Making sure the cold feet's going to trigger. Burns off a little bit more mana of Trixie. The arrow will fly up, but it's a little bit too late. Now Resolution was thinking about more if any of Fnatic boys were sticking around. And with both Bristol as well as Nature's Prophet down, Team Empire can get control of their lanes. And even to a point, if they want to, they could look to force the tier 3 tower in mid. But the tier 2 tower on top lane is a bigger objective for now. Shut down Fnatic's jungle, and then just siege them up. Primary goal. Alright, so while Fnatic get themselves back together again and Team Empire slowly start to push out the lanes. So I want to remind people, we do have ourselves a free rare giveaway tonight, courtesy of Dota 2 Lounge. So if you want to load up the website, It's Dota2lounge.com/giveaways is the web address you need to head yourself over to.
Going in.
And I will be saying the codes right here on the live stream.
Radiant's bottom tower.
And the first one to enter the code ends up winning. We'll be doing 2 of those codes here during the games. And I'll be putting another one over on my Facebook page, so facebook.com/TobiWan Well, as we wait and watch Mag die. Jump in from Vanskor, though, returns the fissure. 3 to hit, now the Aeon is coming in too. No Talon Fly, they won't survive this. With a cog pushback, Fly, he'll go down too. The gem is now on the deck. Trixie's trying to come in close enough for it, but Mag just takes it and 4-stars over the hill, while in middle lane, Era leaps away from Resolution, but Silence on the front lines. And Trixie tries to run, though with another fissure coming out from Vanskor. His Rubik has just been stupendous this game. They want to blink and go. Hook shot up. Trixie locked inside the cogs. Picking him up and throwing him back. So he'll even get burned by the cogs. RP committal. 1 minute on the sideline.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Looks like Nature's Prophet's at least doing some kind of damage. No, Hani, can he really force him to come back? There's a catapult in the back of this wave. He can actually do some good damage to this tier 3 tower in the bottom lane. Unfortunately for him, his Necro units are also timing out, and he's losing teammates inside the base. The Earthshaker gets caught out with the Observer Ward being used. Man can see it coming from a mile away, and those hook shots just fly all the time. And Hani knows by going back, he won't achieve anything. He's going to keep this creep wave alive. There's TP coming in from Vanskor, but Feybolt as well as Fissure. He kind of knows that he can almost solo up Hani. He wants to stop him from TPing back. That was the primary objective right now. So a jump up, throwing Hani around. And Hani can't really do much to stop this. Oh, Vanskor. He doesn't have mana. If he had mana for a fissure, he might have just had a bit of a guess and throw it to the high ground. Fnatic get back, but they are now a mid-racks down. Crippled here in game 1 of the best of 3. As I start looking up, where are my codes? There are my rare codes. Alright, so the first code coming out for today. Well, Fnatic go for a gank. Be ready on your fingers. After we watch him have a crack at mid, I will call out the code. And Mag, he is sticking around this time. The Dire Creep Wave is there, but a fissure will help him set up. They Nova down the Creep Wave, and in comes Resolution. Oh, he was starting up the RP, but he started with a Shockwave instead of the RP. It's a good fissure from Vanskor. He's locked Era as well as Trixie in. Trixie is pretty damn tanky, especially after he's popped up that pipe. So tanks up most of that magical damage. But in comes the extra support. BKB from Silent. Hook shot in as well. Silent, he wants to finish off Fly. Can't reach him. 25 line points, and looks like the Crystal Maiden will survive. Or will she? Ah, Silent! Attacks once, brings him down, while Trixie, the tanky guy, hits in the tree line. And this could just be a GG push, and probably will be. So here's your code. Your first code of the day. Oh, you rat bag, no tell. First code of the day, H9VG. That is the first code for the giveaways. H9VG is the first code. Good luck, whoever put that one in over on Dota2lounge.com/giveaway has ended up taking home 10 rares. We have another 2 codes to give away, but you'll be able to check them out over my Facebook page, facebook.com/TobiWan where you'll be able to keep up to date with all the awesome games, especially the ones here from the D2CL, which you can also watch the entire competition over the D2CL.org website and keep up to date with the upcoming schedules and watch all the wonderful games are right there on the channels too. You can check out all the VODs too, right here available on the Join Dota channel. We also upload them to the D2CL, both the YouTube as well as their Daily Motion channel and our YouTube channel, which is Join Dota. So, it's wonderful times, great Dota, all times round. Stay tuned, peoples. We got second game coming up in a moment. Team Empire looking in top form. Fnatic having a couple of hiccups, but we'll see how they go as we go into game number 2 in just a couple of moments' time.